Hello, Noofs, and welcome to some playoffs from Hangzhou, the most recent, well, I don't know, the Starcraft tournament. It's been a weird situation because, Ben, this is basically just a super rich guy who wanted people to play Starcraft for his own entertainment. But it's on the most recent patch, and it's got some really, really cool matchups, like this best of five, which is between the American Protoss in the bottom right, sponsored by Ting. His name is Neeb, and he's playing against one of the best Zergs in the world, Jin Air Rogue in the top left. We have a best of five between them, and then after this, we also have a best of five between Hero and Innovation, which is the coolest stuff ever. For people who are not as well acquainted with our channel, we've been doing IM Katowice replays basically since that tournament ended, and we've been doing like 4 a week. And oh, by the way, I like that every Protoss in the world has started doing this pylon block thing on Blackwater.
This is why you 16 hatch.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, so we've been doing a lot of Katowice replays, and oh, that barely blocks it, by the way. I guess it's not that important on Backwater.
Yeah.
Because your third isn't more exposed. So probably that's why Rogue doesn't care that much. Anyways, we've been doing a lot of Katowice replays. We were down to some really thin ones, like we were about to do Ragnarok and Blue Cheese last session, so it's cool to instead be doing Rogue and Neeb in a best of five. Ben, give us a score prediction.
Let's see. I mean, I remember the game, so I know what the score is. So it's a little bit hard.
Oh, boo.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. So everything looks to be pretty normal here. I hope Neeb, in Katowice, since we are so well acquainted with those replays.
Yes.
Basically, every game was going with 6 or 12, either 6 or 12 adept pushouts, and taking a third behind it. But obviously, the game has changed a lot because it's like a 2-month-old tournament. I don't know. I hope that he does something weird. Every single person does Archon drops now, but I hope that he does something
Archon
weird.
drops are no fun.
Yeah,
I
they're
like,
no fun to play even.
The adept pushouts, and depending on how he does it, like sometimes he's done it with like 2 oracles too, and like 6 adepts, and that's pretty scary.
Yep.
So that would be pretty cool to see. So right now we just have 1 adept, and there's Warp Gate, and probably we'll see some tech building in the main pretty soon. Just getting up to 100 gas. What's it going to be? Is it going to be something?
I'm not sure.
Nothing
so
with 100 gas.
We assume that a lot of people who are watching this know the results of this carnival, but we'll just go ahead and not spoil anything that happens. Also, so Ben, do you listen to the Pylon show? You should, 'cause it's awesome. And by the way, it looks like Neeb is not going to be going for any adept shenanigans, which has kind of fallen out of favor. At this point, if you get a Twilight, it's usually the research charge, but he's building that Stalker instead of a second adept. Anyways, oh, he already built a second adept. Never mind me. Still not doing any adept shenanigans. But there was a lot of controversy at the carnival
This is a little bit of an odd play. He's just going to get surrounded and lose these adepts.
Yeah, I wonder why he did that. Usually you do that into the mineral line and wedge yourself between minerals.
And you don't normally do it right on top of 10 Zerglings.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, he'll be safe, obviously. He'll get that adept up in time. Will he? He will. Anyways, there was a lot of controversy at this carnival because there was also a Brood War tournament. And invited to the Brood War tournament was the infamous Savior, who people more familiar with the scene might remember as one of the match fixers that kind of threw a wrench in the entire Brood War scene, I don't know, 10 years ago? Forever ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, and so a lot of the top players were invited, but like Flash says no, because probably his reputation is more important than the money that you would make from this tournament. But some lesser players actually did say yes, and they've been temporarily banned from tournaments in Korea because they participated in a tournament with Savior. Which is fascinating to me. The whole thing is very interesting to me. That he's still playing. He's still a pro, Ben. He's like a really popular streamer. Can you imagine if, yeah.
If Life was a popular streamer?
Yeah, if Life just came back. Because that's basically what, Savior was. He was the best Zerg in the world.
Yeah.
So it's not like Soul Key returning or whatever. Anyways.
So we're seeing, we saw a Robo in the wall, which, you know, indicates that he's not trying to hide anything, and he's now pumping out Immortals.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's already got 3 bases, so this isn't like an all-in or anything. He rallies it outside. Is he trying to push out?
No, the robot on the wall has become kind of standard because everybody knows that it's going to happen every game, anyways.
Yeah, it looks like he's pushing out a little bit. I wonder if this is just to try and get a bit of map control, or if he's actually going to try and move across the map. This isn't a very big army.
Yeah,
so
and he doesn't have a warp prism.
Yeah, so I wouldn't expect him to move across the map.
And he starts the warp prism. But it's interesting though. This is not your standard PvZ because he hasn't built. He built his Twilight Council after his Robo, and normally you see the Twilight Council come first, so you can get the Templar Archives. Oh wow, just barely. He must have just warped in an Adept at the last second there. That's annoying though, because he has to waste warp in. Now we have 4 fewer gateway units with this army.
Yeah.
So now here comes the Templar Archives. That's 5th and 6th gases, right? I'm assuming. It would be really extreme to just be taking 3rd and 4th. Okay, yeah, usually you take the 3rd and the 4th really late if you're doing a charge all in, but he's not doing anything like that.
Okay, so he does end up going back. So I think maybe he just wanted to get a little map control, and he's a very good player and knows that Zerg isn't going to have a ton of units at this point. So he can just push out a little bit, basically go to the watchtower and make Rogue waste a bunch of money on units that aren't drones. And you can see because of that, he's now up 5 workers. Okay, that evens out now, but usually at this stage of the game, you expect Zerg to have, by the time Protoss is at 68, Zerg should be into the 70s.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Ben, check out what Rogue is building.
A Spire. Yeah, that's cool.
A Spire.
Definitely pretty good against Robo units. The question is, can it be scouted? Because if you scout it, it's not very hard to deal with, although there isn't a Stargate from Neeb. I believe, because he didn't go for a Stargate, so that makes it somewhat more difficult to deal with because you can't just start throwing out these Phoenixes. Ooh, okay, so there's the Archon drop happening. Archon's, of course, also good against mutas. But the question is whether in the course of doing this he's going to scout the Spire, but it's very tucked away back here.
Yeah, I mean, he's relying basically on hallucinated Phoenixes for scouting at this point.
Yeah.
But how many sentries does he have back home?
Only 2.
Oh, okay, 2. So he might actually be a little bit more nervous about spending that energy. It's interesting. He's got this Observer with his army, and the idea is to clear creep, but usually you see the Observer follow the Archons so that they can clear creep.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I guess that he's going to push out with that army eventually and do some stuff. He's getting some decent damage in. I think he got a queen earlier, didn't he? Just got a handful of drones. He's going to get another queen.
Yeah, he is taking a lot of damage on the Warp Prism, so he's not going to be able to do this very much longer. Obviously, if that Warp Prism dies, it's really bad. He ends up just recalling it. Which actually is going to be very helpful against the 11 mutas, having those Archons back at home. Yeah,
he would have died. He would have just lost the mutas, probably. Or not the Archons. Yes, he would have just lost the Archons. Which would have been real stressful. So his 4th base is almost finished, which is pretty comfortable for him. The only real variance that we could see in this game at this point is whether the mutas get a ton of damage. This drop is going to get shut down real hard, by the way. But if the mutas could also fly into this 4th base and then just eat a storm, and then suddenly it's like, all right.
Yeah, so right now we have 3 Archons, and we're now 4 Archons and Templar, but he's not prepared at all. There is a cannon, actually, so that's going to be very helpful. Nice. And Rogue just shooting a pylon for a bit. He does need to take out some probes, because Neeb's already up to 80, and that's going to be a big, scary economy if he's going to be making Archon, Immortal Templar, that sort of thing. But right now, it looks like he's just content to shoot pylons here, and it's annoying and all, but it's not really going to get you a big advantage. When you have 85 probes, it's not that hard to afford some extra pylons.
Yeah, Neeb now getting blinked. It's kind of like, oh, I love the shield battery on my cannon, by the way. It's going to take forever for that thing to die.
Yeah.
And they barely reach it, too. That's actually a neat spot. I'm sure he did that on purpose. That's cool, and I will remember that in the future for the next, 3 days that this map is in the map. But, yeah, a lot of the utility of the mutas is in the first, 30 seconds before they know anything. And now he knows everything, and he's got multiple cannons going up on his force. The good thing for Rogue here is that now he can just grab everything he wants because Neeb is stuck in his base.
Yeah, you see 2 hatcheries going down, 1 at the 5th, and then 1 macro hatch in the main. It'll be good, and we see the infestation pit, while he's also getting the +1 attack for air units. That's interesting. Usually you see that when you're committing more heavily to mutas, but he's really just going for a Roach Ling Baneling army, which isn't too common. Sometimes you see Roach Ravager Baneling. And I guess if he's morphing basically all of his lings, maybe that's what he's going to go for. If he morphs, some roaches into Ravagers, but the Ravagers are really important, for a few reasons. Oh, the muta's still getting stormed here, but it looks like not too many of them die. Anyway, the Ravagers are really important because, one, they have longer range, so that helps against the Protoss stuff. And then, you know, obviously the Banelings are really susceptible to force fields, so having Ravagers to break the force fields is very useful.
Yep.
So I think the Ravagers are super important in this sort of an army. But if he's maybe just going to go defensive, then, or it doesn't look like he's being very defensive right now.
No,
that's
it's
a lot of
going for
Banelings.
it. How many force fields does Neeb have? Okay, he has
Not
some.
very
He has
many.
enough.
Oh,
my
those
god.
Banelings just get in the middle of everything.
Yeah, but they got in the middle of
the
Immortals and
Templar.
Archons. But the Templar are getting chased back. Okay, so they're going to return now. There are so many Immortals here that Neeb will defend it. But he lost a lot of high-tech units there. It's kind of funny. It's like, normally you actually do want the Banelings to explode on all the Archons instead of a bunch of the Gateway units. But because they got so many of them, it actually became kind of worth it.
Yeah.
At the end there. By the way, is there anything at the third for these mutas?
There's some cannons.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I got in your way.
Yeah, so there's still like 5 Templar, so if he lost all of the Templar, that would be really bad, but keeping 5 of them I think is going to be, you know, enough that he'll have some storms. Now he's back up to 8 here, so there's going to be enough storms for the next wave. Although, for this many Banelings, there's not enough Archons, but there's a very good position here.
Yeah, that's a great spot. Rogue does not want to attack him there. He does get an Immortals, that's not the end of the world, but he lost a ton of Banelings. This is kind of a neat game because both players are well, Rogue is becoming active all over the map, and Neeb is almost playing like a static kind of super defensive game. Ooh, that's a nice little, that's cool, man. Did you see how he just funneled that in with the Archon and the Immortals, so we just got a bunch of Banelings stuck? That was really, really neat.
Okay.
Yeah. By the way, it looks like so that one Immortal is going to get caught for absolutely nothing, and then another Immortal got kind of grabbed as it ran out of the Robo, which is one good thing about Rogue stacking in here. Although I think Neeb's going to be pretty happy with what's happened so far.
Yeah, well, the Templar are still fine. They basically have survived the, there's still like 8 of them, and they've survived the Banelings pretty well. Obviously, they're going to need some time to regenerate their energy, but, you know, free energy, free storms, kills so many Banelings. And meanwhile, there's still no advanced tech from Rogue. He's still just going for this Banling army. So, I don't know, if you'd think he would drop maybe morph his Spire into a greater Spire, given that he already got the +1 attack and everything.
Oh my god, the Templars, the Banelings roll in, they're gonna get about half the Templars there. You know, this is becoming better and better for Rogue. I mean, for Neeb, sorry. You could look at this, just the supplies and starting to even up. Although Neeb, it looks like this is kind of, there are so many Banelings rolling in from the top. There are a decent amount of Blink Stalkers that will eventually hold this. As a car's alarm goes in the background, I'm sorry about that, everybody. Not my fault. It looks like Neeb has pretty successfully defended everything, and at this point, you know, he's up in supply. He's got a lot of Archons. He lost all of his Templar, or at least they had to morph in that fight, but at a certain point when you get enough Blink Stalkers, man, there are not that many Banelings on the map anymore, so they're not really a problem. He's got a lot of Archons. He should be able to push and do some damage, although Rogue's being nice and active with these Blings.
Yeah. These are about to be +2 Cracklings, and, you know, with +3 now just starting. And so link counterattacks are definitely going to be quite scary. But at this point, without that attack speed upgrade finished, he isn't able to kill the Nexus before the units come in and kill it. It looks like there's another attack coming in on the north side. Of course, that upgrade is done now. There is an Adept in the wall. He might be able to get an Immortal if he wants.
For this.
Oh, the Zealot!
Oh my god. Oh, that is the most frustrating thing of all time. At least not that many got in.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, Ben, by the way, that you mentioned that Rogue is not taking up to a Greater Spire or anything. He does have an Ultra Cavern now, so he's made his way. But Neeb hasn't even built a Stargate the whole game.
Yeah.
He has not made any progress there. Just starting Charge, by the way, which is funny. About 14 minutes in the game to start Charge. Neeb has made no efforts at all to defend this. So does he know about the Ultras?
The issue is there's only 3 Immortals. There is 5 Archons, but with only 3 Immortals, the 4th one finishing is not really... You want a lot of Immortals, obviously, against Ultras. Now, I don't imagine Neeb is going to guess that Rogue is going to go Ultras, because nobody builds Ultras in CVP. So it's possible that this could catch him off guard, but of course, you know, you basically always want those Immortals. So if he just keeps pumping out the Immortals, then he should be okay. Oh, one more Zergling runs through, and there's nothing actually in the natural yet, so there's... Wow, that Zergling does a lot of damage. Kills 2 probes in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
More Zerglings down here, too.
Yeah, Rogue is kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
And he is just massing... Wow, this is cool. I really like this. Oh my god, the Templars are first. Okay, that's fine. You won't lose any. That's nice. He even saves the Zealot. Yeah, he's just pooling Ultralisks at this point. Where
Yeah.
are they? Can you
They're
check
just
out what the
sitting
army
around
looks
here.
like?
So there's 5
Okay.
of them in the army, 6 of them now out, and 2 more in production, and
Yeah.
+3/+2 is going to be done. And the question is, so is the Ultra armor upgrade done? It looks like it is, which is obviously extremely important to make those Ultras
Yeah.
as survivable as possible. And now he's going to
Yeah,
come into
here
the big
comes the
engagement.
reveal. Oh man, this is not a great engagement for Neeb. He does have a decent amount of immortals. Some biles, all right, are gonna get dodged.
Oh, one
They
of those
did
right in
actually
the
hit
middle.
some Templar there, yeah, but they didn't kill anything. Oh man, this is tricky, man. Neeb has a lot of immortals, but there's a decent amount of ultras even on the
There's
way.
no Zerglings anymore.
Yeah, so the immortals can actually just start to get to work, and it looks like they're gonna beat this down, man. Neeb did it. I
Yeah.
think Neeb's taking this game. He can push across the map.
There's big Zealot counterattacks. This one is going to get cleaned up, but he actually kills out the 5th base over here with these Zealots. That's pretty big, and he's going to try and go take out the 6th, too. While the main army pushes in here, there's two big things that Rogue needs to deal with, and all his army is now over here killing these Zealots, which is going to put him kind of not in a great position for the main army that's actually also going to rotate over here to try and take out the 6th base.
Where are the immortals? They need to, what? Huh.
Okay, so there's 3 immortals with this army.
They're off camera.
But not with the Templar is going to be, you know, obviously he really needs those Templar against the mass circling.
Yep.
Which are actually going to counterattack and take out Neeb's 6th base over here, and that's going to be annoying. I don't think there's any way he can save that. Yeah, he actually does get the cancel in. It's always painful to cancel something at 99%.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, morphing into the High Templar was not what he needed. He's going to lose this base now too. Whew, man, you know, it's interesting. Rogue has been behind for, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes of this game, ever since that aggression ended with the Roachling Baneling. But he's been so active with the Lings that he's managed to stay in the game. He's basically tucking to the same army as last time, although he's throwing in some Vipers this time, which will help. But still, neither player is really moving on to that ultra late game tech, even though we're about 17 minutes into the game.
Yeah, still no Greater Spire, because that's, you know, Broodlords are really the end game tech that you almost always are aiming for in this matchup, just because of how safe they are, and with still no Stargate from Neeb.
Yep.
You know, it's not like it would be hard for him. It would just cost 150 to morph the Spire that he already has into a Greater Spire. And so I really don't understand why he hasn't at least, you know, tried doing that. We actually do see another counterattack down here. Unpowers the pylon that was the only pylon powering all these cannons and shield batteries. So
yeah, that ain't terrible in control pylon. So he rolls in. Oh man, Neeb's army looks basically invincible at this point, man. There's so many storms. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 immortals maybe. These Baneling's gonna roll in, but they're just gonna catch Archon, which is not what you want at all.
Great storms on the southern side.
Yeah, even kind of zoning out the ultras. He's gonna get this base again unless Rogue attacks, and if Rogue attacks, then Rogue is just gonna lose. Blinding Cloud goes down, which is nice, but when you're fighting ultras, it's kind of like everything's right there anyways.
Yeah.
So it looks like Neeb is just going to push in and win this game, but I actually think that he's done it. Templar coming in, storming those last 2 ultras, which are the last hope for Rogue. He's going to GG. Neeb takes game number 1 in a really cool back and forth, almost like eternal mid-game PvZ.
I'm curious why exactly it was that, you know, Rogue decided not to go for the standard late game style and just went for this, you know, Roach laying Baneling and just mass laying Baneling into ultras. Because, you know, you could see how much trouble he had engaging the armies efficiently, because his Ling Baneling would just get stormed, and then his ultras would get killed by immortals. Which is, you know, why you normally get those Broodlord armies that are a lot more resilient. And it's also kind of amusing on Backwater, one of the turtliest maps in the pool, that Neeb doesn't even ever build a Stargate. Or try to get carriers or anything. I mean, I guess when you see ultras, you know, you don't really want to invest into the carriers when you could just be getting immortals, because obviously carriers with their many tiny attacks are not going to be very fast to kill those ultras.
Yep.
But still, both players kind of, you know, deviating from what you would expect in the late game. Rogue more so than Neeb.
Yeah, Ben, I don't remember. So Rogue, right after this tournament, went to GSL and came out of his group pretty convincingly. But I don't remember any of the games from that series, even though I watched all of them. Which is embarrassing. I wonder if that might just be Rogue's EVP right now. Kind of just sticking to mid-game for a very, very long time.
Yeah, maybe. I'm trying to remember. I also watched those games, but I also don't remember specifically what happened.
I think, so he was in the stats group, right?
Yes, he was.
he lost
So
he lost to Stats late game twice.
Stats, Buell, Rogue, and Trap, right? Was it?
No, Trap was in the previous group.
Oh, okay.
Because Trap made it out, and Stats and Rogue made it out of this one.
Yeah.
It was somebody. Oh, it was Emotion.
Emotion.
It was Emotion who just got bopped like 4 games in a row, and then that was the end of the series. Which, by the way, obviously very nervous to play his first stream game ever, but it's kind of funny to see somebody be nervous when their name is Emotion. It's like he told us who he was. We knew all along.
But maybe that's just a coincidence because it's actually like electronic motion.
Yes, I know. Maybe.
I don't know.
Not enough electronic motion, though, I'll tell you what. It looked pretty gruesome. The game's against Stats in particular, but also Stats is a total beast. Actually, no, I think Rogue beat Stats.
Yeah, I thought
you're
Rogue
right.
got out in first place.
Yeah, you're right. Rogue beat Stats. I wish that I remembered those games, Ben. Oh well. Hey, by the way, Neeb is making a Stargate. Finally, which we see it 2 minutes into this game when we didn't see it 18 minutes through the last game.
Yeah. So if he'd done this last game, he could have had 18 Stargates by the end.
Yeah. No, Ben, nine Stargates. Do some math, Ben. Also, that shade looked a little early. It's actually not going to see the mineral line. He does get there. Okay.
Okay, yeah, he's got like Zerglings across the map and stuff. Did he lose 2 Zerglings? No. Where are all the Zerglings? Okay, there's 4 in the main. Or yeah, four here and then 2 at the third. There's actually nothing here, so he's just gonna run in. There's no wall or anything, and just get a full scout. He's gonna annoy the probes a little bit, but obviously Neeb knows how to micro and shouldn't lose any probes to 2 Zerglings.
Yeah, he's actually getting a 3rd Adept this game and a Phoenix first.
He doesn't have to see the Stargate.
Yeah, I think that we. By the way, God, Neeb shades in again, and he gets trapped before he gets to that little nook in the mineral line. So, geez, he'll get one drone. Yikes. And a few Zerglings. These 2 Zerglings are still in there. That's a cool timing, Ben. That'll be open every single game.
Yeah.
Because everybody sends their first 2 Adepts out. And then when the 3rd Gateway unit, whether it's a Stalker or an Adept, pops out. Oh my god. Okay,
he has
full wall.
Full wall, yeah, that's annoying. Is he going to be able to save this Gateway?
Yeah, he's got the Adept there, so we should be able to. He can even lift at the Phoenix. If he needs to.
He can lift up the Gateway to keep it safe from the Zerglings. But then they'll just run in underneath it.
Yep. By the way, he's just making Adepts, so I would expect... Okay. I would expect to see a Twilight Council in a second, and probably Glaives, and then one of his push-outs to facilitate the 3rd.
Fast +1 melee from Rogue, so we're going to see some very powerful Zerglings in the early game here. That
Ben, I think we might... Yeah?
That can be pretty cool when you're trying to defend like Adept pressure and stuff. The +1 melee Zerglings are a lot better at that than just normal Zerglings.
Yeah, absolutely. We might see some shenanigans here. He's making a 2nd Oracle, which is cool. He'll have a neat little hit squad there with the Phoenix picking up the Queen.
Yep.
And then the Oracle just zapping. I love, by the way, the sound that Oracles make when they hit drones.
This Spore is not in a very good place.
Why not? Tell me about it. Oh,
it's like blocking this mineral patch.
Yeah. Looks like he's going to grab a 3rd before any tech buildings.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. So my call was wrong, but that's okay. That happens all the time.
And here's the 7 Adept move out.
Not that wrong. I'm proud of myself. Looks like
8
actually
Adepts,
8, so there's one trailing, yeah. So, Rogue, it doesn't have +1 yet, which is nice. He actually, Neeb might be able to, he's not going to shade in, is he? Okay.
No, I don't think so.
But he'll force some lings out.
There's no roaches or anything, and roaches, obviously, if you have some roaches right up on this ramp, that makes it a lot easier.
Yep.
But he does have
Neeb might be able to pick a queen. Yeah. This is... Okay, he'll wedge himself in there, and actually with the Oracles, this is cool. I like the timing, and he's got a really neat location here because, yeah, a decent amount of queens. He will lose all these Adepts. No, he won't. He's going to shade out. He'll be fine. He'll lose a few of them. That's pretty cool, man. I like that. By the way, I don't think we have the Observer UI on this game.
Yeah, it looks like they didn't bother playing with the Game Heart. What it is there's the Game Heart UI mod, and that's what you have to pick.
Yep.
So if you just create the map normally, it doesn't work. You have to create it with the mod.
Yeah.
And it looks like the Chinese tournament admins that were running this didn't really didn't bother with that.
Yeah, pretty annoying. This is a decent amount of length, but with force fields they should be able to defend this pretty
but
quickly.
these are +1 Zerglings. They're going to kill things very quickly, although the 2 Oracles obviously are going to kill the Zerglings very quickly, so Rogue is forced to run away. And the result is that he's down like 10 workers. He's down 15 supply. This is really not looking to be a great position for Rogue at all. He's droning up quickly, and he's actually getting an Overlord speed.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's just scared of, you know, the Phoenix a little bit, or just, you know, wants to get some extra scouting information.
Do you think that he built all those links just because of the adept shading in, or do you think that was his plan, having gotten the Evo chamber?
I mean, I think if you get the +1 melee, you want to make some Zerglings to do something with it.
Yeah.
I don't know, sort of in terms of specific numbers. By the way, this is a pretty cute SimCity over here. Look at that.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
That's
really
nice.
Cool. There's you can go to the left of the robo facility and you can wedge yourself in that 1 unit wide thing with the pylon, and that's about it. That is really neat. I like that.
We don't see that all too often. Protoss should start doing that.
Yeah, well, it used to be that in PvZ, every single time you would do a wall off on the side at the third.
He built the spore in the same place. I really don't think that's the right place to build the spore. Right in front of the mineral patch.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, I'm sure. I don't know. There's got to be a logic to it, right?
Something got canceled here.
Huh.
It might have just been a build or a drone turning into a building to try and not die to oracles.
Yeah, it probably was.
Because let's see, in terms of tech, we see that Rogue is going for Hydraling Baneling here. He's got the Hydra starting to come out, Hydra range, +2 melee, which is going to be very good, obviously, especially on those Banelings, make them one-shot probes and do a ton of damage. And Baneling speed almost done, which is obviously also super important for those Banelings. The 4th base is probably going to get cancelled here.
Yeah. Actually,
force fields.
pretty nice force fields.
Great force
my
fields.
God. Oh, that is so rage-inducing as a Zerg, I could not even imagine.
Oh, but he might lose an Archon. That's really annoying. Those Archons
that
are
is
very
annoying.
expensive.
Suddenly that becomes worth it for Rogue,
Yeah.
even despite the great force field. So there goes the rage there, which is nice.
This
Phoenix is not long for this world.
That's unfortunate. It's, you know, very useful to get that for scouting information. And now the Overlords, Rogue is going to be free to just put Overlords all across, you know, the peripheries of the map.
Yep.
Get lots of information about Zealots running by, like we appear to see here. Although it looks like there's actually a Zergling. That's nice. That +1 Zergling could kill all those Zealots. No, okay.
So where are Neeb's oracles? That's basically the only vision that he has on the map at this point.
Yeah, they're just sort of sitting here.
Yeah, they're both pretty badly damaged, so it's tricky, because they'll die like immediately if they fly over Hydras.
Really good creep spread too.
Yeah, man, Rogue has a lot of control over the map right now. He's taking that 5th base, which is nice. Sitting on 80 drones, so he can start actually just grabbing whatever he wants at this point.
So normally what you would want to see at this point, okay, there's the infestation pit. It's maybe a little late, but it's only 9:15, so it's not too bad. You know, so what we should see, the standard transition is you should get the infestation pit, get the hive and spire, and then get a greater spire, and get a big engagement with Hydraling Bane now to hold off, and eventually just get to those Brood Lords that Neeb shouldn't be able to easily respond to. But speaking of that, Neeb's already building a fleet beacon and 2 more Stargates.
3. Yeah, that's awesome. It's really cool. It's such a mix-up from his last game. I wonder if that's map-specific or just based on the fact that Rogue doesn't seem to be bringing a whole lot of pressure at the moment.
Yeah.
But it's really neat. It's a real departure from what he did last game.
I'm curious to see what he's going to build first. You know, it's honestly too early to be building Tempests, so I wonder if he's actually going to go into carriers. So let's see. The one question is, what does he know about the main? Oh, he doesn't know the infestation pit or the hive or anything, so it can't be a specific reaction. So that makes me think it might more specifically be carriers.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I think
you're
probably right. Yeah, there's 3 Dropper Lords on the map right now. Yeah, not great for Neeb. Neeb will not be happy about that, and he's releasing through that. But at least he knows where the army is.
Yes.
These Dropper Lords, man, where are they headed? One of them is...
Let's see. Okay, so there's one
I
over
love dropping
here,
creep, by the way.
and this guy is going over to the 3rd base here. There's one here that's going to go obviously up into the main base, right on top of that cannon.
3 carriers, by the way.
Okay, yep. So there's carriers.
Yep.
This is gonna be scary for Rogue. Did he ever build a?
Yeah.
He didn't ever build a spire though, did he? I don't see any spires.
No, so I think the Dropper Lord is heading up right now, by the way, to his main base. So he is going to see the carriers right about. Well, actually, no. He might leave before they pop out.
Well, but he'll see the Stargates.
Yeah.
I'll see those
and he'll see the
massive
Chronos
carriers.
on the Stargates. Yeah.
And on the fleet beacon.
Yep. Looks like he's not going to get too much damage there with the Banelings, but
well.
Oh well. Well, I guess there
like
are
40
three.
drones that
Oh,
have to
this
get
is
pulled
so
through that
annoying.
wall.
Oh, this is so annoying. Okay.
He picks one
Neeb
of
looks
them
like
back
he's
up.
handled it. Yeah.
Oh, this is a
Oh,
lot of
oh my god.
banelings.
At the same time, he's rolling in a gazillion
If he
banelings.
gets over to these probes. Oh, wow.
Ben, can you hit Control R real quick so we can see with the
63. Wow. 19 workers for Neeb. That was incredible.
Holy cow. Alright, well, yeah, I'm surprised. At this point, he has to move across with this
now
army
Rogue
and
just
try to
needs
win
to
the
hold
game.
on. There are 3 carriers, but 3 carriers is not so many that you can't deal with them with Hydras. You know, when there's 6,
No,
then it's an issue, but only 3.
By the way, Neeb is not even building more probes. He's like, this is it, we're moving across. He does have a huge army. I mean, he's actually up in army supplies still somehow.
Yeah, this is going to be like a... Remember the other Neeb versus Rogue game a long time ago?
Yeah.
199 army supply in 1 probe.
Yep. Or like that old like Hero Jadon game like a gazillion years ago, where he just had one hero army that just kept pushing. Looks like a lot of banelings are going to roll across. So okay, he's got Immortals and Carriers, which are pretty much the 2 scariest things in the world to any Zerg. But that's all he has. Rogue is going to sack this base. This is cool, Ben. I love when Starcraft.
Yeah, I mean when your opponent's on 18 probes, you don't really need to keep your 5th base alive.
No. Man, so that's actually... Alright, GG, there we go. Yeah, that would have been a heck of a push. Rogue takes game number 2 after an insane baneling bust at Neeb's 3rd. Ben, those are the best baneling hits that I've seen in a very, very, very long time.
Yeah, it looked so much like it wasn't going to, do anything when there was a good pull away in the main, but then, he pulled all of the main and natural probes just to sort of sit in position, and then just 30 banelings rolled in and killed them all.
Yep. Yeah, I know. That was,
this was the trick there, is that Neeb saw the Overlords and thought that it was a big baneling drop attack, but the baneling drop was just a distraction for all the banelings that were running by.
Yep.
Use banelings to distract the banelings.
As whoever Brad Pitt played in Lord of the Rings famously said, a diversion. By the way, that line... by
the way,
Forge.
2 probes coming across, so it looks like we might be seeing...
I'll stop talking.
Something interesting. There's an Overlord right here.
I know. Print F is
freaking
freaking out right now. He has to see the probe. He's going to see the pylon.
Okay,
oh, yeah.
Pull drones? He should pull drones. Okay, he pulls 1 drone. You could just, you can pull enough probes to just kill this pylon. Or enough drones to kill the pylon.
Well, but Neeb's going to be able to wall off, so, oh my god, he doesn't get the pylon down. Oh god. He needed to get both probes in there so that he could kill the drone, but he didn't. And now he's in trouble. Now this game is... Oh, there goes... Oh, yikes.
What do you do here?
Oh, you build a Nexus, apparently.
Heart
That's
of the
funny.
Wings of Liberty, Forge Fast Expand. That was the plan all along.
Pretty clever, by the way, to try to sneak the 2 probes in.
Yeah.
He actually almost got it. He missed it by like 1/10 of a second. This game would have ended up... it would have turned out very differently if he had been able to do it.
Yeah.
But it looks like he couldn't, and now this game is wonky. He does need to probably build a cannon at his natural, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe
at some
Rogue
point,
just won't go across.
it looks like the pool's, the pool's pretty late.
Yeah.
He ended up delaying that a lot. Normally the pool finishes around when the hatchery does, but now it's still not finished. I wasn't paying attention too much to his money, but it's possible that he was just so focused on microing the drones that he just forgot to build a pool, because I don't know what else he would have been spending money on.
Yeah.
So...
So, alright. Silver linings here for Neeb. Let's talk about it. Rogue's pool is late, so he might actually not have to build that cannon after all. He can get very fast +1, because there's nothing else to spend his gas on right now.
You know what he could do, Ezra?
What?
He could do a +2 8-gate Blink Stalker all in.
The classic. Dude, that was my PvZ build for like an entire year. When was that? 2013?
I think that was 2012.
2014?
I think it was late.
2012?
Yeah. I remember.
It was late
I remember.
Liberty?
Yeah, back when I was playing a bunch in 2012, I remember practicing a bunch against that and struggling.
Yeah. Well, I only played it because you told me it was annoying to play against. Which is basically my entire PvZ strategy is to ask Ben what he hates, and then I just do that all the time. By the way, this game is just going to become a normal game now.
Yeah, but the issue is
cool.
that the tech is really delayed. Well, the Stargate actually is only like 30 seconds late, but even 30 seconds, Rogue is going to know that this is all delayed, and he's going to sort of... You can see that he hasn't really gotten that far ahead in the work account, because obviously the Forge doesn't stop you from having a Nexus to build probes.
Yep.
But what this means is that Rogue is going to be... Rogue is going to reach a point when he can just make a bunch of drones, especially when his third hatchery is done. And he's just going to be able to use that massive drone production a lot longer than he normally would be able to.
Yep.
So I think even though it looks like it's even, Rogue is going to be able to still turn this into an economic advantage. But, obviously it wasn't quite as bad for Neeb, because obviously he didn't commit that heavily to it. You can see in total he only lost 200 resources for that. So it wasn't like a heavily committed cannon rush that got shut down. And we now do see 2 Adepts moving across the map. But I think Rogue has got enough units. So losing these Zerglings is going to be kind of annoying.
Yeah, it's interesting because of these Lings. Neeb. So first of all, Neeb can fight that group of Lings, and he can just shade away after he kills them. Anyways, because Neeb is so late with these Adepts, he is going to have no scouting information now. Rogue is not actually building anything that you really need to scout at this point. He's got that Roach one, so
they're just banking a lot of money, and it looks like he's going to try and make a massive wave of roaches actually instead of going for the big, Zergling thing. I mean, you can see the glaives are just starting. The pressure is not. There's not going to be pressure soon. Like he totally could be droning up if he wants to, but instead he's sitting on 38 workers and just making 4 more drones and some units. I think this is really weird from Rogue. I really think he could have gotten a lot more drones out. But he's building spores. What is he? Okay, I guess there's a Stargate. What is there? Okay. This Oracle hasn't actually moved across the map, though, has it?
I don't think so. No. Does it have any kills?
No, it doesn't.
No. I can look. I can use my eyes in the bottom right of the thing to read.
This is a lot of roaches. I wonder if he's just gonna straight up all in. There's no layer or anything. 12 roaches. Yeah, I guess this is just gonna be an all in. So that's another way of playing it instead of trying to get a bunch of workers. And the Glaive Adepts are not going to be good against the Roaches, obviously. The Robo just now starting, and it's at the 3rd. So there's a very good chance that's going to die. Rogue sees it, so he can just kill it if he wants. Okay, now 3 Queens running across the map. All the Roaches. Neeb knows exactly what's happening. He starts a shield battery and some extra pylons, but this is going to be very hard to hold off with these units.
I guess from Rogue's perspective, there are 2 ways to lose this
really
game.
Scary.
Yeah, that is scary. There are 2 ways to lose this game for Rogue. Either he drones up and Neeb actually all-ins and Rogue just loses, or he drones up and Neeb grabs like all the possible technology, and then it becomes a normal game, and then maybe Rogue loses. So it makes sense to build units against either one. And it looks like, man, so Rogue is gonna nestle himself in this little corner of the map. Yeah, and Rogue has made
not going to be helpful.
No, and Rogue has made his way into this little corner of the map that everybody likes to take all the time. You can cut things off, and actually, Neeb is just going to GG. Rogue takes game number 3 after a brutal failed cannon rush.
That was a really cool all-in there from Rogue. I know I was a little hard on him for not making as many drones as he could have, given his advantage, but it looks like, that was a really scary timing with, like, 6 Queens with all that transfuse energy, and obviously... that totally shuts down the Stargate units. That you could tell that Neeb was trying to build. He had an Oracle and was trying to get out of Void Ray. And then it was like 7 Ravagers and a bunch of Zerglings. And you can tell how scary it is by the fact that Neeb just ended up leaving before even really trying to fight it.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's to me it seems like just an example of the mentality difference between the Korean and the foreign scene, because foreigners, it's all about, you're ahead, so get more ahead, but that means just slowly accumulate an advantage. But for the Koreans, it's like, oh, I'm ahead, all right, I'll just walk across the map and kill you now.
Yeah, I definitely think the Korean style has a much bigger focus on finding and exploiting weaknesses in your opponent's play. Yeah. Whereas foreigners tend to think that, if you're better, then you should just make the game go longer and give yourself more time to be better than them But, Rogue clearly was totally right about the advantage he had and was able to do a very strong attack there and just finish off Neeb and get that win. Speaking of which, we should give
the wins.
the wins to
But
the players.
it kind of reminds me. It kind of reminds me of that. Do you remember right at the turn? We talked about this in our last VOD, but nobody watched it, so it doesn't matter. Do you remember the right before Legacy of the Void came out? I think it was Life and Petit Drogo
No,
played a series.
I think it was Life and Lobo actually.
Oh, you're right. Maybe? I don't remember. Anyways, Life played some foreign Protoss, some, I think, French foreign Protoss, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was actually Lobo.
Okay. Well, the foreigner said something before the series like, "Oh, I've just been practicing Legacy of Void. LOL, I don't even care." I think it was at a BlizzCon.
Yeah, no,
and
it was the BlizzCon 2015. It would have been.
Yep, and Life just all in him over and over again and just absolutely rolled over him.
Yeah, I think I watched the series actually not too long ago.
Okay.
This is kind of funny, and it's
Yeah.
like 15 minutes for best of 5, so why bother?
Yeah.
And I think game 1 was a speedling all in, and then I think game 2 was a 6 pool, and then more speedlings on game 3. I forget. One of the maps was Moonlight Madness. Do you remember that map?
Vaguely.
That was the map
Barely.
that had like, you had a natural in the front, but then you also had a big in-base area in the back that had like multiple rocks that could be broken down to get into it.
Okay.
And so Rogue, or Life rather, not Rogue, Life just built a bunch of speedlings and won that game and just killed the rocks and then ran in Lobo's back door.
Yep.
And yeah, that was pretty painful.
Hey, can you check the units tab real quick? Is this Neeb's first adept? It's interesting. You went for a stalker first.
Yeah.
Where is the stalker?
Where's the stalker?
It's not killing the overlord. What's it doing?
Wait, where is the stalker?
Is it walking across the map? It has to be walking across the map.
Why is the stalker over there? There's an overlord right here.
Huh. It's walking back. I almost wonder if that was a mistake. These lings now coming into the main, that's annoying. Or the natural. Gonna scout everything again. Rogue likes this timing a lot. I'm going to start doing this on ladder because it's pretty neat. Because, it doesn't kill them, obviously. But nobody's going to have anything for that ever.
There's a bunch of Zerglings here, so that adept, okay. Thankfully, Neeb does cancel the adept.
Oh, this is super obnoxious.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried actually doing this on ladder a little bit. I didn't, take the time to really time it out properly, but
yeah,
a few games I was able to, run in, and even on maps where you can do like a 2-building wall off. Usually the wall off is just open for a bit. And let's see, some speedlings actually. Okay, I was curious if he was going to go in because he could have caught this adept that was out potentially. But it looks like Rogue is not going to commit too hard. Just going to get some vision out on the map, scout for any potential proxies. Obviously, if there was like a proxy Stargate, you would know by now because there'd be an Oracle in your mineral line. Yeah. But good to see if there's maybe like a Pylon and a probe building a Dark Shrine or something. You never know. Always good to scout.
It's quick note. So by double Stargate. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's building. I want to say this real quick. I think probably the PvZ meta, something's going to happen because he's doing this adept. Oh, this is cool because he's going to make Rogue think that he's doing the same thing they did game 1, and Rogue can't check because Neeb could conceivably just be getting that third base in the pocket, and he might even get it anyways. But actually, he's researching air weapons and getting 2 Stargates. So that is neat.
This is going to be like Mass Phoenix or something, I guess.
I guess I don't see what else it would be.
Air weapons for oracles, I don't think.
No.
I'm not sure it even helps.
And you're not going to mass void raise because you're not in Bronze League. Although, and now that I've said that, watch him mass void raise to win the game. Okay, Phoenix is good. All right, the world is not breaking in front of us. Anyways, that little timing that Rogue does with the 2 lings is kind of the same concept as that 14 hatch. By the way, he does get the third. That's nice. That 14 hatch, 13 gas, 14 pool ling flood that people are doing now, where it hits at the same time, except that you've got 10 lings in their base and they just lose the game.
Yeah.
So I almost wonder if people are going to shift to start walling off a little bit earlier. Anyways, Neeb is going to be cooling those Phoenixes, I think.
Although
right?
with regards to the 14 hatch, if you scout, the thing about that build is that it's I think a lot more susceptible to the meta than people think necessarily, because if you scout, it's actually very easy, even if the hatchery is done. Well, I shouldn't say very easy, but when you 14 hatch, the hatch is a lot sooner and the creep's actually a lot further out, and it's not particularly hard to see that. I know in ZVZ people also 14 hatch, and so I've learned to pretty consistently do that. And if I can do it, I'm sure the pros can tell. Yeah. So I think it's the sort of thing that if that build is not in the meta, looking at how far the creep is out to figure out the hatch timing is not something that you normally have to do.
Yeah, that's true.
But if it's something that is actually a deal, in the meta, then the pros should be able to adjust fairly quickly.
Yep. All right, Neeb's going to move out. By the way, he brought. Yeah, he brought 2 adepts into the natural, and I almost wonder if he wanted to base some queens over from the third, but it looks like Rogue's just gonna defend this really, really comfortably.
Yeah.
With 6 queens. Tricky thing is these phoenixes are just gonna live forever. He's got 3 spores. Oh my god. That's awesome.
Yeah.
These phoenixes are gonna live forever, so they can just find damage eventually. Getting through overloads now. Finally some drone kills. Okay. Wow. Is that 8 phoenixes now?
7 now.
No. Okay.
Oh no, 8. Yeah, I did the box one. Okay. Meanwhile, these
how dare
circles
you.
actually are gonna, but they're hiding in the neon violet squares, of which there are. How many were there?
You know, we never actually finished counting because remember there was some on the wall
Yeah, that's true.
somewhere else.
But
Yeah.
in the middle at least, there was like 120 or something.
I think that might have been our original bad guess. Yeah. We counted all of them in Avad without practicing counting them, because you know counting is easy,
Yeah,
right? But
of
then we
course.
actually miscounted. I
Aspire
think it was
kinda-
45 and 1. Yeah.
So I guess it's going to have to be corruptors. You know, it would be insane to build mutas against this many phoenixes.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
But he's got these Zerglings out on the map. You would think that he would be able to use them to deny this base over here. He scouts it
this
immediately.
misplaced.
This is not enough units to deal with this huge number of Zerglings. Well, not huge, but 30 Zerglings.
With force fields, I think you should be okay.
Well, I think if he just gets us around on the Nexus, it's got so little health. If he just
Oh, that's true.
Or if he just
Oh.
makes a bunch of Banelings.
Alrighty. These phoenixes, by the way, still doing stuff.
Yeah.
Can you check how many workers have been killed?
15.
Whew, that's nice.
Yeah, so they just
Although
sort of
he's
add
still
up
at 70.
by bit. Yeah.
Alrighty. Before the gateways finish, let's see what happens here. He's got some force fields, so and you can target these with the immortal.
Nice force fields.
Yeah. But this Nexus, I don't know, man. It's tough to see him. Defending this because he doesn't want to force field them off the Nexus.
But these
Although
force fields are
he's
really
actually got
good.
it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, he's gonna have to cancel.
Yeah, that was
Neeb-
smart of Rogue there. You saw the Banelings exploded on the Zealots, but also on the Nexus.
Yeah.
So he was able to get a lot of extra damage in on the Nexus, which helped him kill it. So keeping Neeb
Yeah.
on 3 bases is definitely... See, the thing with these mass Phoenix styles is that it's really hard to push across the map into Phoenixes.
Yep.
Because they can just lift whatever you make.
Mm-hmm.
And so often you see this coupled with a significant amount of economy. And you can see Neeb has 78 workers. But he has 78 workers on 3 bases, one of which only has half mineral patches.
Yeah.
So he's got 21 here. You know, he's got a bunch of random probes that I think are going to go in long distance mining. Yeah, he's got a huge number of probes long distance mining. So that's a big, big hurt for his economy. If you look at the resources collected, you see that Neeb is getting significantly fewer minerals than Rogue, even though their worker counts are about the same.
Yep.
So that's why denying this Nexus is super, super good for Rogue here in this position.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, Rogue is grabbing his 5th base. Well, sort of 4.5 of base. Oh my god, he's got enough corruptors. Alright. So these Phoenixes are basically over. You know, Neeb... Oh my god, please get it. I love this. Oh, he's not gonna be able to get it.
He's going to lose a lot of corruptors
He's
if he
committing.
wants. Okay.
Yeah, okay, he needed to thin out the Phoenixes a little bit more, I guess, before he did that. But it looks like he's actually just gonna take out basically all these Phoenixes. So, Neeb, well, I don't know, that's closer than it should be, because Rogue just lost like 3 corruptors trying to take out that Nexus. But anyways, the Phoenixes are not going to be that big of a problem anymore for Rogue, who is just getting his +1 range now. It seems pretty late. I don't know. And his Hydras. Meanwhile, Neeb is adding on Blink, +2, getting his Fleet Beacon, so it looks like he's going to prep for the late game again. Yeah, that is a scary army.
Archon, Storms. And again, a pretty Ling-focused style, but he is at least going for the Hydras this game instead of the Roaches. Not that I think the Roach style is bad, but I don't know. I think the Ultras especially were not a good late game transition. We see that the Corruptors fly into the main, but there are Stalkers here, and only 3 Corruptors are going to take a long time to kill that base. They're going to be able to fight the Phoenixes. Actually picks up another Phoenix. Need down to only 3. It's kind of annoying because really I think you would actually want to have those when you do your air transition.
Yep.
Because they're just nice against whatever air units the Zerg has. You know, why not have 8 Phoenixes?
Sure. Wow. Okay, looks like Rogue is going to move across the map. He's going to start... Basically, Neeb took this 5th, and Rogue decided to... Does Rogue have a lot of force fields? Is it going to be all storms?
Rogue, I don't think Rogue has very many force fields at all now.
Does Neeb have a lot of force fields, or is it going to be all storms?
Only 2 sentries. It looks like Neeb is a fan of that 2 sentries, but there's going to be a lot of storms here.
Yeah,
I don't
tons
think,
of storms.
Okay, a few of these might have 2 storms.
So Rogue is kind of on the clock here because Neeb is getting 3 carriers at a time, and so he needs to do damage before the carriers really become a threat. He's going to roll in. Oh, those Banelings are used on a shield battery. No force fields, but I don't know, man. Yeah, Templars are in the back. It was just Immortals. Ooh, nice storm there, blocking
Great
there.
storms.
Yep. These Banelings are going to try to roll in again at the same time. He's basically trying to distract Neeb, but it looks like they're going to be held off on the natural.
Using smart ones.
Yeah, you know, Neeb looks pretty comfortable here, I have to say. He's got all of his Immortals still here. All the Banelings have been cleared out, mostly. He's almost finished his first 3 carriers, which is going to be when this game starts to feel really dangerous for Rogue, because he's not teching to anything. He just made 60 legs.
Yeah.
He's just starting his hive now.
Yeah, an 11:45 hive is so late. It looks like Rogue maybe is just not that comfortable on the late game, which is weird because I remember specifically thinking in the past that Rogue was one of very few Zerg players that was actually capable of taking out these big, you know, these armies.
Yep.
Where I remember this a little while ago, but when you saw a lot of these carriers, Rogue was one of the Zerg players that was known for actually being able to control those big mid-game armies. A huge attack coming in there.
Yeah, by the way, he hopes he can take this Nexus if he wants. Looks like he's just going to get it at the same time he's rolling Banelings in. He's not going to do a ton damage to Neeb's army, but he's hitting just before the 4th and 5th carriers drop, which was basically his last window to do damage for a while. He took out that Nexus, which is super annoying for Neeb. He really needs that 5th base at some point soon.
Yeah, this is a 90 worker, 90 drone Rogue, so
yep.
you can definitely afford 90 against 55. You can definitely afford inefficient trades, especially to deny bases.
Yep.
But the issue is that he does need to get this into a position where he can actually, fight the army, unless he's just going to keep counterattacking forever, but that's really difficult. And that means you need Corruptors, you need Broodlords, and you need Infestors. And he's just not working towards that right now. And as you said, the 4th and 5th carriers are going to make a big difference in terms of the ability of these units to push in and do any damage.
Yeah, it really looks like, okay, it's starting to make Corruptors finally. It really looked like for a while, Rogue has committed big time to actually just ending this game now, but with the carriers here, okay, Corruptors are going to start taking them out, but 3 carriers with Storms, is he even going to lose 1? He'll lose 1. But that trade for 6 Corruptors is going to be pretty nice.
So many
looks like
units
he's
went
only
down
going to
there
kill
for
4 of the
Rogue.
Corruptors. Yeah, this is tough, man.
Look at this unit's lost tab, 21,000 to 14,000. It's 50% more for Rogue. And it's just going to get worse as more and more carriers come out here. And there's plenty of ground armies, Storms, and Archons, and Immortals to support them.
Yeah, Neeb is, in terms of just looking at the income, Neeb has about half of Rogue's mineral income, because Rogue is at 96 drones.
Yeah, and he's got a fully saturated gold base over here.
Yeah, Neeb hasn't taken his gold yet. Neeb is also only making 1 carrier at a time. Okay, he's starting to get more probes. He's a little under-probed right now. I think he lost a lot when he lost that 5th base. So he doesn't necessarily... Normally you'd like to just be making straight 3 carriers at a time here, but instead he's making 5 probes at a time with those minerals, which is kind of annoying for him. So that is one good thing for
only
Rogue.
on 4 carriers right now. So the 5th carrier is going to be nice. Okay, another big attack coming in. Those Templars actually super exposed.
Yeah, he got 1 storm out of those 2, and then but he can make Archons. Oh, so many storms from the Corruptors. Although the Corruptors do get 1 carrier. Those things are valuable right now because Neeb's not actually making them 1 at a time.
Yeah.
Okay,
Neeb
Neeb
saves
saves
the
2
carriers,
other carrier.
that would have been really nice, but only 1 for all that loss I think is not worth it.
No.
You can see now Neeb ahead in the army supply, and he's up to 67 workers, which is, he's going to go up into the 70s, which should be fine for him. Sitting on 5 bases, and he should be able to take a 6th base when he's ready for it, but you don't really need, you don't need the 6th base so much. He's mining on 10 gases. Okay, well, 9 gases, soon to probably be 8. But that's still a lot of income off just these, basically 4 mining bases. He's just going to be able to pump out carriers, get maxed, get a big, scary army. At some point, Void Rays.
Yeah, he's transitioning to Void Rays, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I guess he just is so afraid of the amount of Corruptors at this point.
And I think maybe he's noticed that it's really just these Corruptors, right?
Yep.
That are coming out. So if he just gets, 4 is a little on the low side, but yeah, those Void Rays would be good. Big attack coming in there.
Yeah, this might be Rogue's last chance to really win this game. The Corruptors are moving in. They should have Storms dropped on them in a second. They're going to go down. Void Rays start to pop out. There are a lot of Queens with this army of Rogue, but man, when you're still building links at this point, he's going to take down... Yeah, actually, okay, he almost got that carrier, so there are 3 carriers left. But the Void Ray count is going to start building up. Actually, it looks like Neeb might chase us down. No, that's too much, right? Okay. Rogue, meanwhile, still 92 links. Yeah. 92 links in production.
He's just going for the swarm style. 95 workers now. And the nice thing about this map is that it's so big that that if you can hold map control and hold back, you know, Neeb, there's
Yep.
plenty of bases to mine from, so you can do this for quite a while.
Yep.
But, you know, of course, the issue is that you're still taking very inefficient trades. We see now 34,000 to 22.5. And so if Neeb is able to get the air unit count up any more than he is, then that'll be helpful. Another big attack coming in.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Rogue's creep is out of control right now.
Yeah, seriously, it's
It's like
incredible.
it's reached Neeb's gold base at this point, which is pretty crazy. Looks like the Void Rays are actually going to clean up all of the corruptors, and this is going to become tricky because Rogue just lost basically his entire army, and Neeb lost a lot of gateway units, but the important units, the Templars and the carriers, are still here. And Rogue has 2 corruptors left, and he's still just making Lings and Hydras.
And as soon as he cleans up all those corruptors, he's now back into carriers. And
Yep.
another wave of 3 carriers. You know, the more carriers that get out, the worse these attacks are going to be, basically.
Yep.
Because, you know, as long as Neeb remembers to make enough Templar and Archons to hold back the massive flood of Ling Baneling every time, then the carriers are just going to be able to clean everything up. And there's a lot of
Rogue,
Templar. Oh.
Rogue is making 9 drones right now, by the way.
93,
I'm at 93
enough.
workers. I need another 9.
Oh,
Actually,
Banelings here.
Yeah, I thought for a second they would grab that Archon.
Oh, there were
Banelings.
Banelings over here in this base, though, and Neeb now down to 63 workers. He actually lost quite a few probes to Banelings.
Yeah, I think he
over
might
here
have
in the
lost
5th.
maybe 15 or 20 there.
Okay,
Baneling's going to try again. That's not going to work that time. But, oh man, shield batteries are so strong on Archons, man.
Yes.
Tell you what.
Any shield
good.
upgrades? What's the button
he
for
must, right?
upgrades?
He's so late in the game, you'd expect him to.
Yeah,
We'll just assume so.
we'll just
and
assume so.
It'll come up on the bottom bar at
Here
the
we
same
go.
time. Actually,
Okay, he doesn't have any shield upgrades. Only +2 attack. It's an 18-minute game, and
Yeah.
neither player having a ton of upgrades. But +3 melee is going to come in from Rogue, and that's going to be pretty nice. There is +3 air attack coming in from Neeb, obviously, and that's going to be the most important upgrade. But you know, some shield upgrades wouldn't hurt. Help the Archons, help the carriers, and these Hydras are just going to get killed by carriers. But there's creep here, so they can just run away really fast.
Hey, by the way, it looks like Rogue is going to try... So, Rogue is transitioning. He's grabbing a Greater Spire and a Second Spire. At the same time, building some Corruptors. He also made 5 Infestors. Neeb actually really does have to get this gold base at this point because he's starting to mine out everything else. His income has been lower than Rogue's for about 10 minutes now at this point.
But the thing is,
he just has a more efficient army.
That's all. Yeah, all gotten traded out. What Rogue doesn't have is a big bank to build up these expensive units with.
Yeah.
You know, he's gonna start finally mining from these gases over here. He doesn't have these gases down here, which obviously that's a lot of gas. But I think he's got enough gas. There's a big spore forest actually. Yeah.
Oh man, actually a decent fungal going down on those carriers also. But it looks like he can't engage on it because he needs the spores to finish. So man, I love the spore pushes, and Rogue's creep is crazy at this point. So it's going to be decent. Some fungals going down on the carriers again, but all the corruptors are melting at this point.
Yep.
At this point, by the way, Neeb is making just zealots with his army. He needs something that the spores won't just destroy.
Yeah. But I mean, the carriers are not... Oh, he loses the base over here to a Ling run.
No
That's
way.
really painful. There's no probe here, so...
that hurts.
There's still no... He still hasn't even started a new one. I don't know. Yeah, you were right what you were saying, though. He's mining out a lot of bases. And
he's also sitting on 62 workers right now, which is, fine. Obviously, you want a lot of supply for that army, but this game would look really different if he had been able to consistently stay at 70 or 80 the whole time.
Yeah. These spores are just taking out interceptors, basically.
Yeah, I know. There's so many queens here that he just had like 5-6 carriers just focusing straight spores, and then he ran the zealots in, and he got 2 of them after like 20 seconds of that.
Okay, another Ling run by here is gonna probably try and take out this base again, and there's still no defense here.
Oh my god, this is really important, man. Neeb really needs this base.
I know.
There's not many other bases that you can take.
Killed
no
two.
cancel even.
Oh, big fight though.
That hurts.
Pushing in here, storms on the Hydras, but the spore callers are really good. And some Lings coming in from behind.
Yeah, the queens are starting to fall, and that's when this army starts to look really, really.
So he doesn't have any way
weak.
to actually deal with these carriers.
Yep, the spores are just going to die. He's making more Lings again. Still, 21 minutes into the game. A lot of Lings and
not enough
3
to deal
corruptors.
with, 8 carriers, 9 carriers.
He's got 2,000 gas banked, but he's just not spending it because he's, I guess, limited by the minerals. Looks like Neeb is going to push through. Rogue GG's. Neeb takes this series to game number 5.
that was a pretty crazy game, where Rogue was going for that massive high economy 90+ drones, just swarmy style, and Neeb just held out and traded efficiently. Archons, storms, carriers, and void rays and everything, and just kept holding out. Even though Rogue did a good job of denying bases and kept killing that 6th base, Neeb was eventually able to get that carrier count up, and Rogue just didn't actually have the units required to kill them. Even though he started trying to transition, but he, at that point you need to have like 10 infestors and 20+ corruptors.
Yep.
And he just had a bunch of queen spores mainly, and a couple infestors that just kind of died without doing much. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder if Rogue has become less confident in his actual late game army, because I know that Rogue used to play this, infestor, corruptor, whatever army and control it really well and totally be able to beat these armies. Only a few players. There's some European players like Cyril and Stefano who are also pretty good at this, but mostly, I think especially in the Korean scene, you don't see this as much. Maybe the European Protosses or I guess the European Zergs just always played this super late game defensive
that's
style.
the whole thing. Yep.
Yeah, and Stefano obviously, being known for his infestor usage, so it's unsurprisingly, even if he's not like a top tier pro anymore, that he's pretty good at killing these carrier armies. You periodically see these clips on Reddit of Stefano facing a massive carrier army and then just killing it without losing anything.
Yep.
And,
Hey.
yeah.
By the way, Neeb went gas first instead of gateway first,
did
which
he?
is odd.
Huh.
It's not a huge wrinkle, but it's definitely odd. I wonder if we're gonna see a double Stargate or something. Maybe
Yeah.
he did that last game and I didn't notice. He'll have slightly more gas.
Or maybe one of those builds where you just start the Stargate the instant the Cybercore finishes, and you can still afford, instead of having to delay it for your warp gate and your adept.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that much because you get the Stargate at basically the same time.
Uh-huh.
It's basically just trading a few minerals for a few gas. But it's interesting little wrinkle. I wonder if we'll see that develop in any way. Oh, is he going for Stalker first?
He
No,
just
okay,
stole
he canceled
5
it.
minerals over here.
That's huge.
You see how this patch only has 1,795 minerals instead of 1,800 like the rest of them?
And when this game goes an hour and a half long and Rogue loses by
when there's a
5
base
minerals,
trade and Rogue only has 72 minerals.
yeah, or 295.
Yeah.
That'll be why.
Yep.
We'll know exactly why.
Okay, yeah. So we do see a very fast Stargate here. Like 220 Stargate.
Yep.
So this is a big map. So even if Rogue builds normal spore crawler timings, I think it should be fine.
Yeah, I think it should be fine. He's can you count the units? I'm
Okay,
worried I'm an idiot. I think that he got a Stalker before he got a second Adept. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. That does a little bit. I don't know. He's worried about scouting from his Overlord, basically.
Yeah.
Or at least a little bit more worried about it than he is about other things. Last time he went Stalker first, but he rallied across the map, which I still suspect was a bit of a mistake.
No chronos on this Stargate. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
You would think you'd want to get that Oracle out as quickly as possible, and he's got chrono energy that he's not spending.
Yeah, I wonder if he's saving it for something. All of this feels like shenanigans to me, but
I wonder if this is going to be a fast charge lot all in. That would be pretty cool.
It might be. It might be. That is charge lot all in so hot right now.
Yeah. Oh, these Adept's getting caught out. I think they're both going to die here. Oh, maybe this Adept can get away. Oh, just barely. But it's kind of randomly here.
Yeah.
But Rogue doesn't know where it is.
It's he had those kind of move commanded, which is annoying, because then they end up trapped and just like squirming around. He hasn't taken the 3rd or 4th gas.
Yeah, and he's pulled. Oh no, it's just.
Yeah.
Okay,
I suspect that this is a charge lot all.
Okay, yep, pulling off gas. There it is.
Yep, there we go. Alrighty, everybody, let's go. This is it, Game 5.
Yeah, I kind of personally like the Phoenix better, I guess. I don't know, maybe that telegraphs it too much. And there aren't any Overlords in position to scout this anytime soon. He's got just a Stalker here is not enough. He's gonna need to full wall off behind that.
That adept can also just die, by the way.
Yep. Oh wow, very nice. Gets the adept through the wall.
Yep, and it's gonna actually. Oh wow, razor thin margin.
Yeah, he is forced
to so well handled.
Warp in 2 adepts here. Obviously, if you warp in zealots, well, 1, they don't help from behind the wall, and 2, it's pretty obvious.
Yep.
But this is going to be pretty scary. The charge is already half done. The warp prism is coming out, so that does explain why he didn't use the chrono. Obviously, wanted to save that. Okay, so he's going to fake a 3rd here. There's no way he actually takes this 3rd.
Yeah. So he's although he doesn't have how many gateways does he have? 7. Yeah, you're right. There's no way he takes this third. I think it should be
6
7.
here, 8 total.
8. Okay, 8 total. That's more normal. So Rogue is
Ooh, this
just
+1
finishing
attack.
his.
I think Rogue doesn't. I don't think Rogue would start +1 attack if he realized it. He needs as many roaches.
Yeah.
He needs the moment this roach horn finishes. He needs to build a ton of roaches. 5.
Okay.
Not quite enough yet.
If
Okay,
he builds
sees.
any
He knows
drones, then
now.
this becomes tricky. Okay, he'll know exactly what's happening. Oh man, you know, Eastwatch is a pretty nice map to do this on, just because the third is in a launcher position.
Okay, he's gonna push out the spores that he built to keep the warp prism back, basically, which is kind of cool. Maybe buy a little bit of time.
Yeah.
His roach
Also,
count is
maybe
really
attack.
low.
Yep. So these zealots are going to finish it, but yeah, he bought time. So now he can. He has 5 roaches and a handful of lings and 4 queens, and that's about it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of zealots. Man, this is looking rough for Rogue. There's so many zealots
And he's
here.
gotten some roaches caught out on the south side. Gonna lose them.
Yep.
Fighting
Yeah.
the
He
main.
can't.
Good
He
transfusions.
can't afford to focus the warp prism because he needs to actually attack the zealots, and
Yeah.
he's getting chased back in. Meanwhile, these adepts can start killing drones at the same time. There are so many zealots in Rogue's natural. Ben, this is looking really, really good for Neeb.
Yeah.
I think he might actually just win this game.
The drone's starting to
Look
go
at how
out.
many.
Rogue had way too many drones here. Basically, you want 40 drones against this kind of build, and he's lost them, and he's still at 50 basically.
Yep.
He just got really greedy. It was a great mind game from Neeb.
Neeb needs to not attack into that choke, by the way. What is he doing? They're move commanded. Okay. I think he's fine. I think that he's actually just won this game. There are not enough roaches here. He's going to get the Spore Crawler before it even lands. Neeb is just going to win this series. That's pretty cool, Ben. So they played 4... I guess he can rush in one game, but they played 3 kind of mid to late game games, and then Neeb, to close it out, basically just gets super aggressive.
But this has got to be a really, really painful way for Rogue to get eliminated here.
Yeah.
And
He
just
didn't...
dying charge lots.
He didn't throw any shenanigans the entire series.
But this is a very Korean way to win for Neeb, at least.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Rogue's at this point he's probably just frustrated. GG, Neeb takes the series, 3-2. That's awesome. Thank you guys for watching. We're gonna put 2 videos up on the screen. Hopefully they'll also be from the same tournament. Click on them if you like. They might also be I Am Katowice, who knows. Thank you guys for watching so much. Comment, subscribe, do all that if you feel like it. Most importantly, have a good day. And once again, thank you for watching.